What's up, y'all? Another Bible study, Bible reading, 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak with the tongues of men and angels, speaking in tongues in different languages, or sometimes when people speak in tongues, it's not even a language of this world, the tongues of angels. If I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I have become a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. It doesn't matter if you don't have love. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. You could have all the understanding in the world, understand all the prophecies perfect, but if you don't have love, it means nothing. And if I surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it profits me nothing. We could do anything, give up everything we own, give up our life, and if we don't have love, it don't matter. Love is patient. Love is kind. Most of y'all have heard this before, but this is like the biblical definition of love. This is what love is. If you're doing these things, you're loving. You're showing love. Love is patient. If you're patient, that's love. Love is kind and is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. Does not act unbecomingly. It does not seek its own. It is not provoked. Does not take into account a wrong suffered. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Now, there's 3 definitions in our Bible of the truth. One is the law of God. One is the word of God, which includes the law of God. And the other is Jesus. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. I'm going to go back through this part again. Because loving God and loving our neighbor are the 2 most important commandments. All the rest of the law, all the rest of the 10 commandments, and then all the rest of the law of God branch off love, off loving God and loving our neighbor. So this is what we need to do. Have patience. Be kind. Not jealous. Don't brag or be arrogant. Don't act unbecomingly. We can't seek our own. It is not provoked. Can't let anything provoke us to anger. Does not take into account a wrong suffered. If someone does us wrong, we shouldn't hold it against them. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, aka sin, but rejoices with the truth. And based on the context, the law of God is this truth. We need to rejoice in the law of God and the ways of God, not in sin. We need to bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, and endure all things. Love never fails. But if there are gifts of prophecy, they will be done away. If there are tongues, they will cease. If there is knowledge, it will be done away. Now, before I continue, a lot of people use this and say that prophecy and tongues and healing and all that is done away with back in that time. But no. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, when we have our new bodies and we're living with Jesus and we're like the angels, the partial will be done away. That's when the prophecy is going to be done away. That's when the tongues are going to cease. That's when the knowledge is going to be done away with. Because it's all in part. We prophesy in part. We have knowledge in part. When I was a child, I used to speak like a child, think like a child, reason like a child. When I became a man, I did away with childish things. See, right now, we think like children spiritually. We think like children, speak like children, and reason like children. But when we become a man spiritually, when we're in that time, when we have our renewed bodies, living with Jesus, we're going to be a man spiritually. And the childish things are going to be done away with. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Then we're going to understand fully, going to know fully. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, just as I also have been fully known by God. But now, faith, hope, love, abide these three. But the greatest of these is love. So everything is based on love. That's the end of 1 Corinthians 13. May God bless you guys.